Hi, everybody. My name is Keith Saarloos, and this is our inaugural episode of Chopping It Up on Krazy Country 105.9. And today we are figuring it out. So if you're getting in your car and you're thinking, why is Krazy Country not playing music and who is this guy they're talking to? I'm Keith Saarloos of Saarloos & Sons. We're located in Los Alamos, California. We're farmers that make wine. But really what this show is, what Chopping It Up is meant to be, is to talk to all of the people that live in this valley, people that I love, people that I care about, people that I don't know yet, friends that I'm going to make along the way. But the fabric of the valley. This valley is a very, very special place. We all moved here for a reason. We all live here for a reason. We love being here for a reason. And there are little threads that go through all of it that hold it all together. So today, our very, very first episode, welcome. We are interviewing someone that I really, really enjoy. I really care about. This is Clark Staub of Full of Life Flatbread.
Howdy.
In Los Alamos. I'm sorry. Blew it. I blew it already. Los Alamos, California. Let me give you a little my personal intro, and then Clark, I'm going to let you take it away because I'm here to listen and not talk. But there are a few restaurants in this valley that I think are absolute tent posts, right? They're going to be the ones that you go for on special occasions. They're the ones that made you move here in some cases. And for me, Full of Life has been that restaurant, and specifically you.
Thank you.
You've been around here for 25 years now. Is that correct?
Yeah, 23.
23 years. And I just remember walking into your establishment way back in the day, being greeted by that front porch, walking in and looking around, kind of like you're on a ride at Disneyland, going, what is all this stuff? To seeing a 30-foot long redwood post that's used to pull down walnuts. Am I correct?
Yep.
Walnut. And
Two of them
came
out of a barn down the street.
And then I walk around the corner into this warehouse, if you will, and all these tables. It's all warm, but right in the middle of it was a earth fire. Right? You guys had your oven,
23-ton stone oven that we built for purpose.
For purpose.
Yeah.
And I personally had never seen anything like that. And I walked in and it felt warm and it felt cozy. And then ordered, got my favorite. I think it was the same pizza I ordered last week, which would be the pepperoni and peppers. Right? It comes out. I took a bite of it because everything before that has been, Pizza Hut for me. Right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I got this warm feeling inside of me. And I went, oh, this is my soul food. Right? And you have been that for me for 23 plus years.
Thank you.
So this is an opportunity to tell everybody in the 105.9 community at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. I think that's when this is going to go out. Clark, tell me your story, man. Because the fact that you make food is probably the least interesting part about you. So give me the whole Full of Life story. Give me the whole Clark Staub story. I want everything. Go.
And you're going to have to ask me questions.
I will 100%. Don't worry. If one thing I am good at doing is preparing to talk. So run ahead. So you guys, how did you find Los Alamos?
Well, when I did come with some notes just so I didn't, stretch my memory too much. But what's interesting when you sit down to do this, and like you're amazing, prolific writer. A lot of people have complimented me on my writing when I get around to it. And
you're no slouch.
And probably like you, a lot of people are like, you didn't write a book or whatever. But it's a twisted path. And so when I was putting these notes together, one thing I realized is that all the little interconnections and bounce off points that lead to one thing or another. You realize that, okay, I'm making a flatbread pizza, but in relating it to this 23-ton stone oven that we built that came out of a Quebecan beehive oven, which again can be transferred back to Spain. A lot of different references and points of contact in what's going on. But, flatbread was kind of when I came up with the idea. I should say before flatbread, I I was in music for a long time, as in the corporate side of things. Left music in 1998 and created a organic bread bakery.
Really?
I'd never worked in a restaurant in my life. I worked one day at Disneyland when I was like 16 in the Pirates of the Caribbean restaurant, whatever that thing's
Blue
called.
Bayou.
Yeah, Blue Bayou.
There you go.
I worked for one day and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But opened a bread bakery, all natural organic breads, which at that time in 98, there wasn't a whole lot.
Absolutely
to
not.
bounce off of. And we were in a college town of Claremont, and it became this kind of central part of the community, if you will. And then the year following starting the bakery, I started a farmer's market in Claremont that became the hub for where we got our produce from for our menu at our bakery. The LA Times at the time called it the best small farmer's market in LA.
Yep.
It's still going very strong.
Awesome. What a legacy.
And it's a charity to prison library project. So,
really?
Yeah. All the proceeds that are raised from the farmers market go towards that.
So let's talk about that. 23 years ago, right? There were still places called health food stores.
Yeah, that was 98. So
that was 98.
Yeah, so it's 27 years ago, right?
But at that point, like when you're thinking organic, when you're thinking farm fresh, when you're thinking all of the things that now they make Netflix shows about, right?
Yeah.
That was considered like health food stores.
Yeah.
Right? You would go to a special, totally separate store that was selling organic ingredients.
Yeah.
So from there, did you start that bread like out of your house or?
Yeah, so I in and around the early 90s, I take that back, mid to late 80s, I had this book. It was a Laurel's bread book.
Okay.
And I don't even know where I got it from. And I thought, this is cool. Like you're making, she's making something out of nothing,
right,
essentially. And so I started.
Well, Clark, you realize you're going from corporate music to, hey, I'm going to make some bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
but I was in corporate music.
Yeah.
And I would bake these loaves of bread, and they were god awful at first, and then they got better and better and better. And in and around 1991, I had my first trip up here.
Okay.
Really, and so I had some friends that were fanatical about wine. They met Jim Edelman of Alban Claremont and Jim Clendenin and Bob Lindquist and Frank Ostini.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I took my vacation one year from music and came up and helped for 2 weeks at harvest time. And I just fell in love with it. And I would bake bread and feed people. And Frank Ostini was one of our early champions. And so, I did that for a couple of years. That's actually where my bread starter was created, 1991, out of Biennacido Pinot Noir grapes. I made a slurry, created a wild yeast culture that is still the backbone of my bread, my loaf bread and the flatbread pizzas at Los Alamos.
Unbelievable.
And then as cool, Bob's Well Bread was founded on my starter.
Really?
And he started out at Full of Life Flatbread.
Okay.
So all these little bouncing points and connections, were really interesting to me, and it goes back to it does go back to music because you'd be fanatical, or you'd like a band, and you'd find out they're influenced by this,
Absolutely.
or they're named after a novel,
Absolutely.
or they're and so all this stuff kind of bounced around. So in 2001, I had my bakery. We had the farmers market going. We were, we'd have lines around the block. Snoop Dogg was a customer. And I got approached one of these random phone calls that, we didn't have cell phones really. That we did, but,
But they were a brick and they were attached to your car.
And so I got approached by a corporate headhunter to come back into sort of corporate work. And it seemed like an opportunity way too good to pass up. And so I did that. Sold the bakery, which was difficult at best.
Well, it's like saying goodbye to your child, right?
Yeah.
It really is.
And
Okay.
some people are not the goodbye to the child thing.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at building businesses and selling them, and they're much better off than I am probably.
Right.
But
here's a little tidbit just for that, right? When you're talking about somebody who builds something and sells it, what I've found is the first thing that they come rushing back to is a sense of purpose, right? And I think the one thing that I would always classify you as, and hopefully I classify myself as, is my work is a sense of purpose in everything that I do, right? It's like you put, warm, delicious food in front of people. And it's one of our last great things where we can sit down, look across the table from somebody else, and like break bread, because that's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes those communities stronger. Like communion bread, communion wine over here.
Absolutely.
We're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
That's really what we're doing.
I mean, at one point before I named the business, I almost called it fermentations because I wanted to carry wine, which is a single ingredient.
Yep.
I wanted to have bread, which is a single ingredient, and I wanted to have cheese, which is a single ingredient.
Perfect.
Transformed into something else, but I thought no one will get the name. So
everybody, if you're out there listening and wondering why there's no music on Krazy Country right now, so this is called Chopping It Up on 105.9. And across from me, I have Clark Staub, a full of Life Flatbread. I am Keith Saarloos, and you are jumping in the middle of a conversation. So Clark just told us how he went from corporate life to baking bread, to selling the bread, to finding Los Alamos. I think we're at that spot, right?
Well, I moved, in taking that job, I ended up relocating to Vermont.
Oh, really?
And one of the things that I used to do at my bakery in Claremont was I would, in order to write it off, but also as an experience, I would take one of my staff and we'd take field trips and we'd go to places that inspired or influenced us, or great places that we heard about.
Awesome.
And one of those places ended up being Point Reyes Station, and ended up being Chad Robertson's Tartine. Before they moved to the city, they were in a little shack, a little literal Ted Kaczynski-like shack in Point Reyes. And we went up there and visited him, and it was just awe-inspiring. And at the time, this book had just come out. This Alan Scott, Australian guy that was kind of the foremost oven builder, and it's called The Bread Builders, and Chad Robertson's on the cover. And so he gave me a copy of the book, and I read through that book like no tomorrow. And in the book, there's these little snippets called visits,
right?
Which I thought was funny because we called ours visits,
right?
And one of the places that they profile was a bakery in Vermont called American Flatbread.
Okay.
And so I had sold my bakery, moved to Vermont, was not very happy back in the corporate world, even though it seemed like the coolest job on earth. And it was snowing one day on a weekend, and I was getting in the car, and I looked up and I saw the sign. It said American Flatbread, and I happened to be parked on the curb right in front of it. And so I ended up walking in and much like you just experienced, sort of was in awe of what they were doing. Ended up, getting to know them pretty well. When I decided to leave the corporate thing, severely missed my bakery. And, knew I wanted to come back. I probably could have come back and bought the bakery back, but that's not what I wanted, because living in Vermont, right, I wanted to be in the country, and I wanted to create something from scratch. When I was in Claremont, we had our oven like Bob does at Bob's Bakery. And we had the Mount Baldy Zen Center, which is up on Mount Baldy, which was 15 minutes from my bakery. And Leonard Cohen, of course, was a member there. And so I had this idea since I started the farmer's market that I wanted to build an oven up on Mount Baldy and bake a specific loaf of bread once a week and sell it at the farmer's market, because the farmer's market was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then that's when the whole go back to the corporate thing happened. So that never happened, even though I had.
No, but you had a plan.
I had master plans for it.
Yes, right.
Yeah. And so my oldest son has cerebral palsy. So once, we went through a winter and a half in Vermont, I knew that wasn't gonna.
You were being called home.
Yeah.
Got it.
When your kid can't put a glove on because he can't get his hand around it, and it's minus 10 degrees outside, it's not the place for you.
Exactly right.
And so I came back here. I wanted to be in the country. Looked, I'd come out. I'd drive around, go visit places. Went up to Northern California. Went to San Diego County. But I kind of felt all this avant Claremont hitching post stuff was coming up.
Yeah, the valley had its hooks in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and literally got off the freeway. I think I was sleeping on Jim Edelman's couch. Got off the freeway one time to get gas.
Yep.
And there was a building that said available.
Yep.
I hopped the fence, and
awesome.
It wasn't secured that well, let's say. and just fell in love with the idea. And so that's how Full of Life Flatbread came about. We spent 9 months doing build out. We built everything in there, and then, during that period was just incredible because you're in the middle of nowhere. People thought I was crazy.
Yep.
But out of the woodwork, people would just show up with things like those walnut pickers.
Yeah.
And they'd show up with, I remember this one time, this guy shows up with a full-on tree. And he had taken it off of Gaviota Beach and said, I heard you're looking for chunks of wood.
Yep.
And I'm looking at this 25-foot long.
No, that's not your hostess stand.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is the benches out front.
Really?
Yeah, this is the benches out front. So I said to him, I'm like, well, I'd love it, but I don't have any way to cut that up. He goes, oh, don't worry, I got a saw. And I literally gave him an Architectural Digest page that I'd torn out as an idea.
I love it.
And given it to him, and he goes, okay. And he came back like 2 weeks later with those benches that are on. That's one tree.
Are you
on the
serious?
front porch. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, the hostess stand was somebody called me and said that the county of San Luis in their reclamation yard had this beautiful redwood tree stump.
Okay, just
so there.
Not to step on you here, but one of the things that I think is so important about your restaurant, right? If you go to anywhere today, you can buy certain things, right? You can go in the zeitgeist and you're like, I want these pendants and I want this and I want that. But one of the things that I think that Full of Life does so well, or the thing that really drew me to it, right, was it was a living, breathing thing, right? There was wood that was not perfectly hewn, right? It was like you're talking about these benches out front, right? As soon as you walk, and we've all walked into people's houses where it's just like it's a warm hug the minute you walk in because it was lived in. It is a living, breathing thing. And when I would walk through there and you just smell the food, you walk in, and when I made that turn and saw your 23 tons, right? 23-ton oven, then all of a sudden you see the living, breathing, burning heart of your restaurant. Yeah. And then I just remember, like, even when I had kids, right? When my Cash is now 16, you've watched Cash grow up. You've fed him half the time. When you go, he'd just stare at the fire, right? It was like a dinner and a show. Yeah. Like that Blue Bayou, like you're talking about. You'd go there just to see boats go by. You come to Full of Life. You would sit down. You would watch your pizza go in. You knew when it was coming out, but you saw it. It was like what's the right way to describe it? You got to see that transformation, right? Yeah. From raw ingredients coming out of a kitchen into a burning hot, how many degrees does that oven burn?
Well, it depends on who's baking, but some people are a little bit more paranoid than others. Yeah, it's around 700 degrees.
Right. You're throwing your food into 700 degrees, and then watching you like a maestro, you would see people working it so long that they develop a rhythm, they develop a pace. And I think that even to me, even to this day, I go in to sit down and it's a relaxing experience watching your food being created.
Thank you.
Right? Absolutely amazing. Oh, by the way, this is Keith Saarloos on 105.9 Krazy Country, and you're listening to Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos and Clark Staub, a Full of Life Flatbread. We are into Los Alamos. We're about halfway through the show. I have things I want to talk about, but when you're talking about you found Los Alamos, and I'm kind of pushing you on this thing here because I'm going to give you, if you don't mind, I'm going to give you my perspective. Yeah. When I saw that, you would go to Los Alamos for one thing, like 20 some years ago, and it was to come see you, in all honesty. Yeah. And this is me throwing flowers on you while you can smell them. But what you have done for that town, and I'm not saying that the town, you know what I mean. Yeah. It was a transformation, right?
It was a long term. transformation.
You are a 23-year overnight success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where now, and if you go to Los Alamos and you drive down the street, right, you've got Pico, you've got Bob's,
Plenty on Bell.
Plenty on Bell.
And of course, Bell's has brought a whole other level of recognition of the town.
So I understand that, right? There's a Michelin star on your street. I totally get it. Yeah. Whatever. But the thing that would not exist without you. Like, you're the OG. You're the one that came up, you landed on the moon, you put your flag in the ground, and you made it okay for everybody else because you created your own gravity. I mean, Full of Life really did that. And I think you need the recognition for that more than anything. And when we had the opportunity to do this show, and the first person I thought of was you, because when I go back to, food in this valley, it's absolutely insane now from 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, when we moved here, we had electricity and water, and that was it, right? No internet, no this, no that. But there were places to be fed, right? And I consider Full of Life to be one of the places in my life that I was fed, right? There's a difference between eating and being fed. And I think you consistently, for 23 years, if I go there on a Friday night and I'm picking up pizzas and I stick my head over your doors, which I'm sure you get all the time and you hate because everybody's staring into the kitchen.
No.
But there you are for 23 years. You never sold out. You never stepped away. I see you constantly going out to out in the field. You've done field feasts for us and millions of people. And that's what I think of like a community member, right? Someone who is a part of a community and shows up with their bag of tools and says, I want to make this place better. And I have seen you consistently do that.
Thank you.
For 23 years. And that's just me telling you, I see you, man.
Thank you.
And I want a lot of people to hear this and also recognize it and come up and see you on a Tuesday or Thursday through Sunday night.
Through Sunday. Well, it's in that bounce around connection thing. That was one of the things that I think I was recognized for in music was, we're doing this on a radio station,
right?
And 99, not now, but at that time, 99% of the way you sold records was get them on a radio station.
Sure, absolutely. That thing you do.
And my methodology for the bands that I worked with was really, if you get radio play, that's great, but let's build a community around, what this band is trying to do. And
Clark, that's what you are. You are a community builder.
I saw, and when I started this farmers market, it was purely selfish, and the city of Claremont did not want me to put it downtown in the village, because they said it would, you can't cut off traffic. So we found a loophole, and my buddy had a shop and a parking lot, and he, on a conditional use, rented me the parking lot on Sunday mornings. Then the church that was across the street fought me because they thought it would take people out of church.
Listen, if you're so popular that you're fighting, I'm pretty sure God's cool with it. So you know.
And within a couple months of founding this farmers market, we won. I won Person of the Year in Claremont. I was like. And I was complimented greatly. A couple of weeks ago, we participated in an Outstanding in the Field at the Rose Bowl.
That was unbelievable.
For benefited the Palisades and
the fires.
Yeah, the fires.
Oh, by the way, right now plug your Instagram handle just so people can find it, because you guys posted that photo from above, right? Where it said love.
Yeah, one long table.
In the middle of the Rose Bowl. Spelling out the word love.
Well, we're there.
Unbelievable.
And Alex Weiser, who's a immensely popular farmer from Tehachapi, he's introducing me to other chefs, and we're all talking, and Alex Weiser just looks at me, he goes, and Clark actually knew my dad.
Awesome.
And his dad's no longer with us. But I remember going to his dad, who would do farmers markets. I would kind of travel around to farmers markets, and I'd find the farmers that I wanted to come to Claremont on Sunday. And Alex Weiser's dad was one of the first. And I had completely forgotten that story until there on the floor of the Rose Bowl. And so if you want to see pictures, we post pictures. And stories.
Yeah.
And so it's at Full of Life Foods, plural. So Full of Life Foods.
So, Clark, we got about 5 minutes left.
Go.
I want you to use this time, and this is a 100% guilt-free, humble brag, right? I want to know, in the last 23 years of you doing this, this is your chance to write the foreword of the book, right? You know what I mean? I want to know. I want to know your thoughts of what kept you up and what kept you going for 23 years, and hopefully 23 years into the future, where you become the staple item that communities grow around. Right? Take this opportunity. I mean, I can't imagine how many different chefs have spawned from you. How many people have started restaurants because of you?
Yeah.
Tell me everything.
Yeah.
You got a good strong 5 minutes to brag your face off.
It is interesting that the number of people in restaurant employees are very transient in
Sure.
time, and
They're pirates.
very fortunate. And I've got our main we call them the ladies. Mm-hmm. There's 3 of them. They've been with me the entire 23 years.
Unbelievable.
And then a lot of people that went off to start restaurants, like Brian Collins. He was with me for 7 years almost.
Yeah.
Will Hanko, who moved to Idaho and started a pizzeria, was with me for that long. Actually, in both of their cases, they at one point left to go take on what they thought was a bigger and better job.
Sure.
And then came back.
Yeah.
And so, you've got Brett Stevens, who's got a catering company here. You've got countless number of people. And then also, then you have, then what's been really rewarding for me over the years is, I'm self-taught. I'm a self-taught chef. But every once in a while, you get really big name legendary chefs that come in a lot. Mm-hmm. And because they look at what we're doing and they can't believe we're doing it where we're doing it. Yeah. And then now they look at the town and of course. And so to your point of living, breathing thing, mm-hmm. that's one of my choices that I made to only be open 4 days a week.
Yep.
I don't want to have to chase the dollar on a Tuesday night when I'm going to serve 25 people. I'd love to serve those 25 people, and we do cook private dinners, but we change our menu every week. And that is again part of that interconnectivity, bouncing off of connections, because I was here in Solvang yesterday at the farmers market.
Yeah.
We look at what's in season from our farmers. We figure out how to incorporate that into this week's menu in order to minimize zero waste or maximize zero waste. Then we look at what the following week, what do we have left, or what can this be repurposed as? Mm-hmm. We're a participant in Feed the Valley, which, the companion hospitality group started Bells.
Yep.
So we're feeding 36 people every Wednesday.
Awesome.
So we can incorporate leftovers from the restaurant and make a new fresh meal. So these people get fed, these food insecure people get fed once a week. Mm-hmm. We've been doing that for 5 years now.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of aspirations beyond that. I don't know. I at one point I did to try to open another location or do something else. But we're actually, we're just trying to find our sweet spot and do the best that we can.
Yeah.
And do it better than we did it before.
Yep.
We just did a dinner down in San Juan Capistrano that was, I thought, mind-blowingly good. And for me to say that, because I'm usually unhappy with something.
Sure.
I walked into the restaurant kitchen this morning and I was like, I'm going to call Keith and say, I can't do this. But that's what we do. That's it. That's, it's constant inspirations and constantly looking around. When I started this, the idea of changing the menu every week revolved at that time, 23 years ago, largely around Chez Panisse. Why is a pizza place in Los Alamos looking to Chez Panisse? Well, because they change their menu every single day.
Yeah.
But they also they're in a major city and they have the wherewithal to do that.
Sure.
And so, but that's kind of what we do. And I try to be a guide for our employees. And and you're absolutely right. The food scene up here now is incredible, and Solvang is testimony to that with some really great restaurants now.
Sure.
That's made it really hard to find employees.
Yeah, I can understand
to
that.
find hungry employees.
Yes.
So I've got one right now that is very hungry and very good. But, he has his aspirations, as you said, pirates, so he's doing his pop-ups. And so he's gone this week or, next week. But he at least now understands he needs to let me know.
Yep.
And I'm stoked to be inspiring him.
So I wish we need this show to be an hour long, 100%. I could talk to you for another
part 1,
2
part
hours.
2.
Part 1, part 2. We'll definitely do that. Clark, number one, thank you for coming in on an inaugural episode.
Thank you for having me. I didn't even look at my notes once.
I know. Well, you did great. I mean, I knew you and I. Every time we get together, we're chopping it up, right? Yeah. We're talking. We're finding out what's new, what's happening. But from a customer, this is your Yelp review, right? I have been lucky enough in the last 20 some years to be able to eat at some pretty great places. I've been able to bring my family. I've been able to go special places. But one of the things I constantly find is that whenever I'm on a vacation, I look forward to coming home. And I think the whole point of this show being, terrestrial 105.9, Krazy Country, right? You have to tune into a station, which I personally love. But this valley has become something special. And I think it's been special for a very, very long time. And there's different eras of it, right? One of my favorite touchstones, if I'm gone and I come back and I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, I'll come home. What are we doing for dinner? And my wife goes, I don't know. You're my first thought. Because I call it in. I drive up there. I get, my 10 minutes in the car, listening to the radio. I know when I'm going to walk in. I'm going to see you. I'm going to feel that same warmth that I did 23 years ago.
Thank you.
And I know that this valley is better for you being in it. And I know countless people's lives, countless people who depend on people coming into town to fill their bellies with wine and food and get to live like us for 5 minutes, right? I always say, oh, where are you eating tonight? And if they go, we don't know, you're my first choice.
Thank you.
Because when I go, you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. Just go up. It's pizza, but it's not pizza. It's something else. You're just going to love it. And I just want to say thank you for putting in the effort, putting in the grind.
Thank you.
I know 99.9% of it is unseen. And most of what everybody does here, you go, geez, is this worth it? But I'm saying to you, you do make it worth it for me.
Thank you.
And congratulations on 7
years.
7 years of marriage.
And it'll be 10 years together in July.
By the way, best wedding I've ever been to. It was awesome. Right down the middle of the street. I just want to say thanks, Clark. You really bring, I know what you do with your food.
Thank you.
And I know what your intent is. And I really appreciate you taking a risk coming on this show with, an idiot like me. But,
we have, it's been a interesting ride, and it every day, is interesting. We have several people that moved to town because of us.
Yep.
Which is just mind-blowing to me.
I think that's one of the things that if you're a Valley resident, the whole point is to make it better than you found it.
Yep.
And I know that you've done that. And I just personally wanted to put you on blast and put a little spotlight on you and say it does not go unnoticed.
I'm honored.
So this has been the inaugural episode of Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos and my special guest, Clark Staub. Clark, please tell everybody where Full of Life Flatbread is located, your hours of operation, and what's going to be on the menu this weekend.
So we are, Full of Life Flatbread is in Los Alamos. There's no stop signs. There's no signals. So if you're coming north, we're the second to the last building in town. And if you're coming south, we're the second to the first building. But 225 Bell Street is our address. We are open Thursday from 4 until 8, Friday 4 until 9, Saturday noon until 9, and then this Sunday, which is Easter. Is this going to air before Easter?
Yeah, I think so.
So Easter Sunday, we're going to actually open an hour early at 11, and we're open until 8 o'clock at night. And then, as we said earlier, we change our menu every week. So this week I've got these. I've got some Motley Crue Ranch lamb.
Oh, excellent.
I'm doing a lamb and egg soup. We've got some Marco from Motley Crue who's got his fishing boat now.
Yes,
So we have a smoked Pacific whitefish we're serving.
I thought you were a pizza place, man.
Yeah, we have a pork loin pizza. Our regular menu, of course. I've got these incredible chocolate clams from Sea of Cortez. That we're doing as a aguachile. So lots of stuff.
Man, I see the passion in your eyes.
We have homemade peeps.
Are you really?
Yeah, we're dry aging them.
I love it. I don't know how to stop this show. I could keep talking about this for 5 days. So
Part two, then I can get to my notes.
Well, part two was 100%. 100%. So this has been Keith Saarloos and Clark Staub with Chopping It Up. This weekend, go get some soul food. Head up north. Go see Full of Life. Go see Clark. Tell him you're there because you heard it on the show. That'd be great.
That's right.
Let's find out. This is me signing off. This has been Keith Saarloos for Chopping It Up.